As you begin to settle into your space tonight, feel the gentle weight of the day lift from your shoulders. Let your body sink comfortably into the mattress, your limbs soft and relaxed, as if the very surface beneath you is cradling every muscle and joint with tender ease. Breathe in slowly and exhale, allowing your mind to ease its grip on the constant stream of thoughts. Tonight, we are going to embark on a journey, one that blends calm and curiosity, a journey that stretches back through the millennia and up toward the stars. It is a story that drifts delicately between history, mystery, and the possibility that our ancestors may have glimpsed something far beyond their understanding. Imagine the sky above, infinite and calm, dotted with countless points of light, each one a story waiting to be discovered. Some are merely stars, distant and constant, but others may be silent witnesses to events that remain hidden, lingering just beyond the edges of human perception. From the earliest moments of recorded history, humans have felt a pull toward the heavens, a fascination as deep and enduring as the oceans themselves. Long before telescopes, satellites, or spacecraft, people looked up and wondered, their minds reaching for answers in a universe that seemed both familiar and impossibly vast. Ancient civilizations across continents and eras recorded their observations in stone, in ink, in oral traditions, and in the very patterns of their sacred structures. They tracked the movements of planets and stars with meticulous care, sometimes with practical intent, such as predicting seasonal changes or guiding harvests. At other times, these observations were more mysterious, tied to myths and rituals, to gods who descended from the heavens or celestial messengers whose meanings were lost to time. These stories, passed down from generation to generation, carry a sense of wonder that still touches us today, a quiet invitation to consider that perhaps humanity has always known more than we consciously understand. As your breathing slows, imagine standing in an ancient landscape under the glow of a vast night sky. Perhaps you are on the edge of a desert where pyramids rise silently into the horizon, their stones warmed by the fading sun. Or perhaps you are in a lush valley where temples and megaliths align perfectly with the path of the sun or the mysterious constellations above. The people who built these monuments may have marveled at unusual lights in the sky, witnessed phenomena they could not explain, or heard tales of beings who came from beyond. Imagine the quiet awe and careful recording of these events, the way early humans might have shared these stories with neighbors, children, or kings, weaving them into the very fabric of culture. Each tale becomes a thread in a tapestry of mystery, some threads bright with clarity, others frayed with uncertainty, but all contributing to a story that is centuries in the making. Tonight, we will move gently through this tapestry, exploring these ancient stories and the mysteries they contain, always at a pace that allows your mind to wander without strain. You will hear about monuments that defy simple explanation, about records and tablets that hint at knowledge far beyond their time, and about visions of the skies that have inspired awe for generations. We will consider the possibility that some of these experiences were more than symbolic, that perhaps glimpses of something otherworldly have touched human history in subtle and profound ways. And yet, throughout this journey, there is no rush, no urgency, only a quiet exploration of ideas and mysteries that invite reflection, imagination, and gentle curiosity. Allow yourself to feel a sense of calm intrigue as we begin. Let the day's concerns slip away as you travel backward in time and upward toward the stars, carrying with you a soft sense of wonder. You are safe, your body supported, your mind free to drift, and your imagination ready to wander across deserts, valleys, temples, and skies that stretch beyond comprehension. This is not just a story of history, it is a journey into the unknown, a soothing exploration of mysteries that have fascinated humans for thousands of years. As the night deepens and your breath slows further, let yourself be carried by the quiet rhythm of this story, each word a gentle step into a world where history and the cosmos meet, where mystery and calm coexist, and where sleep begins to draw you softly into its embrace. Humanity's fascination with the stars is as old as civilization itself. Long before modern technology allowed us to explore the heavens, Ancient peoples turned their gaze upward with equal measures of curiosity and reverence. The night sky, with its countless points of light, offered both guidance and mystery, inspiring stories, rituals, and systems of understanding. In the deserts of Mesopotamia, the Sumerians charted the movement of planets and stars, meticulously recording their positions on clay tablets, sometimes to predict agricultural cycles, sometimes to interpret omens. Across the world, the Maya observed the heavens with extraordinary precision, creating calendars that mapped celestial cycles with remarkable accuracy. In Egypt, the rising and setting of stars guided the construction of massive pyramids, their alignments echoing the cosmic rhythms above. These civilizations, separated by continents and cultures, shared a deep human impulse, the desire to find patterns, to impose order, and to understand the world through the lens of the cosmos. As you settle further into relaxation, imagine standing beneath these ancient skies, feeling the same awe that early humans must have felt. The stars above are constant yet ever-changing, their positions marking the passage of time, the turning of seasons, and the cycles of life itself. Psychologists today suggest that this fascination is more than mere curiosity, it is wired into the human mind. Our ancestors relied on the sky not just for survival, but as a framework for understanding existence, for connecting the mundane with the divine. Stars became symbols of guidance, hope, and the unknown, a canvas upon which humanity projected both its fears and its dreams. The longing to know what lies beyond our immediate experience is a deep, comforting rhythm that carries through the centuries, inviting us to ponder questions that have no simple answers. Civilizations often recorded their celestial observations with extraordinary care, using methods that continue to intrigue researchers. In Babylon, astronomers observed the heavens for decades, charting planetary paths and predicting eclipses with astonishing accuracy. They believed that the positions of stars and planets could influence earthly events, blending practical knowledge with spiritual insight. Similarly, the ancient Egyptians aligned their pyramids with the constellation Orion, believing it to be connected with Osiris, the god of rebirth. The Mayans constructed observatories that allowed them to track Venus, a planet of profound mythological importance. Even without modern instruments, these cultures achieved an intimate understanding of celestial patterns, raising questions about the knowledge, intuition, or guidance that allowed them to reach such precision. Could it have been purely human ingenuity, or might there have been inspiration from sources we no longer fully comprehend? The human mind naturally seeks meaning in patterns, and nowhere is this more evident than in the study of the stars. When something extraordinary appears, an unfamiliar light, a sudden movement, a phenomenon beyond understanding, humans tend to weave stories around it. In ancient times, this often took the form of myth, attributing celestial events to gods, spirits, or otherworldly beings. In some cultures, mysterious lights in the sky were described as chariots of the gods, or fiery visitors, carrying messages or instructions. Historians and psychologists note that these accounts, while symbolic, may also reflect genuine encounters with phenomena that were difficult to explain using the knowledge of the time. The blending of observation and imagination is not a failure of reason, but rather a uniquely human response to the unknown, one that continues to shape how we interpret mysteries today. As you breathe slowly and deeply, picture yourself walking through these ancient landscapes under the vast night sky. The soft glow of distant stars bathes temples and monuments in a serene light, revealing alignments and structures that hint at extraordinary knowledge. Perhaps you see the Sumerians tracing planetary movements on clay tablets, their hands moving with care as they record positions with precision. Perhaps in the highlands of Central America, Mayan astronomers observed the phases of Venus, noting its path with reverent attention. Even if these civilizations could not reach the stars, they reached toward them intellectually, spiritually, and emotionally. Their wonder, their questions, and their observations resonate through time, connecting with the same curiosity that stirs within you now, inviting a quiet sense of reflection and awe. Tonight, as we continue our journey, we will explore how these ancient observations, recorded across continents and centuries, laid the foundation for ideas that bridge history and mystery. The careful tracking of stars, the alignment of monuments, and the myths surrounding celestial events all whisper of a world in which humans have always been aware of something greater, something vast and unknowable. Relax into the notion that your mind can travel alongside these observers, feeling their awe, their reverence, and their curiosity. Let the calm rhythm of your breath mirror the turning of the heavens above, as we gently move toward the mysteries that arise when human ingenuity meets the unknown. As we continue our journey, imagine the quiet influence of these ancient mysteries rippling across centuries, shaping not only the monuments and myths themselves but the stories we tell, the art we create, and the ways in which we imagine the cosmos. Ancient astronaut theories, while modern in their naming, are deeply intertwined with culture, inspiring countless narratives that continue to capture human curiosity. Across time, the idea that we might have been visited, or even guided, by beings from beyond our world has been woven into myths, religious beliefs, folklore, and, more recently, films, literature, and media. Consider how the tales you have heard tonight echo these patterns. Stories of visitors from the sky, of wisdom imparted in mysterious ways, and of human civilization shaped by forces beyond ordinary understanding. These ideas are not confined to books or laboratories. They are alive in the rhythms of cultural imagination, influencing the way humanity perceives itself in the vast expanse of the universe. In the modern era, literature and film have carried these motifs far and wide. Science fiction often draws on the same themes seen in ancient myths: extraterrestrial visitors offering knowledge or guidance, advanced technology sparking awe, and humanity confronted with mysteries that challenge conventional understanding. From classic novels to cinematic epics, these stories offer gentle, immersive experiences of wonder, inviting audiences to reflect on both the known and the unknown. Films depicting pyramids, spacecraft, or ancient civilizations often echo the hypotheses of researchers like von Daniken or Sitchin, blending imagination with echoes of historical inquiry. Picture watching one of these stories unfold on a calm evening, the soft glow of the screen illuminating the room, and allowing your mind to wander through deserts, temples, and starry skies, feeling the gentle pull of curiosity and contemplation. Folklore and oral tradition also reflect these cultural reinforcements. Across continents, indigenous and ancient communities have told stories of beings descending from the heavens, sometimes bringing tools, knowledge, or warnings. These narratives, passed carefully from generation to generation, reinforce the deep human tendency to look beyond the immediate world for guidance and meaning. Even when interpreted metaphorically, the consistency of motifs across cultures is remarkable: lights in the sky, visitors from above, advanced knowledge imparted to humans. This repetition, scholars suggest, is not merely coincidence. It reflects a collective psychological and cultural resonance, a pattern that continues to captivate the imagination today. As you picture these storytellers, elders speaking by firelight, children listening intently, you can feel the calm, rhythmic cadence of tradition, a soothing bridge between generations and epics. The influence of these theories extends beyond storytelling into art, architecture, and ritual. Artists across centuries have depicted celestial beings, unexplained lights, and extraordinary journeys in their works, embedding a sense of mystery into the cultural landscape. Festivals and rituals often encode symbolic references to celestial phenomena, sometimes tracing origins to encounters so ancient they are difficult to date. The Nazca lines, for instance, may have been part of ceremonial practices meant to communicate with deities or beings from the sky. Pyramids and temples aligned with celestial events demonstrate a similar blending of practical, spiritual, and possibly mystical understanding. Imagine walking slowly through these sites in your mind, feeling the cool wind or the soft touch of sand, contemplating the ways humans have sought to connect with forces beyond their immediate perception, finding calm in both the beauty and mystery of these achievements. From a psychological perspective, the continued fascination with ancient astronaut ideas is tied to an innate human desire for narrative coherence and wonder. These stories, myths, and cultural artifacts allow us to feel connected to the past, to the cosmos, and to possibilities that extend beyond the immediate and mundane. They provide comfort, curiosity, and gentle excitement, engaging both rational thought and imagination without causing fear. Tonight, as you breathe slowly, notice how these cultural threads weave together the ancient and the modern, the symbolic and the literal, creating a tapestry of thought that is both engaging and soothing. Your mind can drift along these patterns, exploring ideas with the same calm curiosity that guided the observers, builders, and storytellers of centuries past. Even scientific communities and educational discourse reflect this cultural influence, though often indirectly. When researchers explore the alignment of ancient monuments, the astronomical knowledge of early civilizations, or recurring motifs in myth, they are participating in a conversation that stretches across millennia. This ongoing dialogue, blending observation, interpretation, and imagination, reinforces the cultural resonance of these mysteries. It is as if every monument, every myth, and every documented sighting is a note in a symphony of human curiosity, and tonight, you are listening gently, letting each note settle into your mind with calm and ease. As you continue to relax, allow yourself to feel the quiet continuity of this cultural influence. Across time, humanity has looked to the skies, recorded what it observed, interpreted what it could not fully explain, and woven these experiences into the stories and art that define civilization. You are connected to these threads of human curiosity and creativity, a participant in the slow, gentle unfolding of wonder. In this space, it is not important to find definitive answers. The beauty lies in the exploration itself, in noticing the connections, the patterns, and the enduring intrigue that spans centuries. The calm reflection on cultural influence prepares your mind for the next stage of our journey, modern investigations, where science, observation, and curiosity meet in a gentle, ongoing search for understanding. Imagine walking slowly through the sands of Egypt, the heat of the day long dissipated, replaced by the gentle chill of evening. Before you rise the pyramids of Giza, their immense stones bathed in the soft glow of a setting sun, casting long, serene shadows across the desert floor. Each block, carefully positioned, carries with it a story of incredible effort, ingenuity, and perhaps a hint of the unexplained. How did humans, thousands of years ago, transport such massive stones with such precision? How did they align these monumental structures with the stars, particularly Orion's belt, so accurately that modern technology marvels at their skill? Engineers and historians alike have studied these questions, some suggesting purely human innovation, others entertaining the idea that knowledge beyond the known may have guided their construction. The quiet grandeur of these monuments invites reflection, a reminder that the past, like the night sky above, holds mysteries waiting to be softly uncovered. Across the globe, other civilizations built their own enigmatic structures. In South America, the Nazca lines stretch across the arid Peruvian desert, vast geometric patterns visible only from the sky. Straight lines that extend for miles, intricate shapes of animals and symbols. How could such precise designs be created without aerial perspective? Archaeologists argue that these were carefully measured using ropes and stakes, yet the precision, the scale, and the hidden meanings continue to spark speculation. Perhaps these lines were ceremonial, perhaps they were maps, or perhaps, as some suggest, they were messages meant for beings beyond our world. The air in the desert seems still and timeless, carrying the faint echo of human hands shaping the earth, and as you picture yourself standing among these lines, a sense of calm wonder takes hold, letting your mind drift between the known and the possible. In Europe, the mysteries continue with Stonehenge, a circle of enormous stones in England, their arrangements still perplexing researchers today. Why were these stones moved from distances sometimes hundreds of miles away? Why was the formation aligned with the solstices, marking the turning points of the sun's journey across the sky. Historians note that the builders likely possessed deep astronomical knowledge, yet the methods remain debated. Could it be that ancient people possessed engineering wisdom now lost to us? Or might there have been some guidance, perhaps from a source they considered extraordinary? The gentle rhythm of the wind through the stones and the quiet rustle of grass offer a calm backdrop, allowing your imagination to wander, pondering the ingenuity, dedication, and inspiration required to create such enduring works. Even on the distant shores of Easter Island, the Moai statues stand silently, gazing across the ocean with their solemn faces. These immense stone figures, weighing tens of tons each, were transported over rugged terrain without wheels or draft animals, a feat that continues to challenge modern understanding. Researchers have proposed ingenious methods using logs, ropes, and human coordination, yet the sheer scale of the task evokes a sense of wonder that transcends practicality. Perhaps these figures were spiritual guardians, perhaps markers of knowledge, or perhaps reminders of connections with realms beyond human perception. Standing beside them in your mind's eye, you feel the serenity of the island, the rhythmic sound of waves, and the quiet awe that comes from witnessing human achievement interwoven with mystery. What links these monuments across time and space is not only their scale or precision but also their apparent alignment with celestial events. The pyramids, the Nazca lines, Stonehenge, and the Moai all hint at an understanding of the cosmos that seems astonishingly advanced. Some historians argue that these patterns reflect human ingenuity, observation, and meticulous planning. Others suggest that certain knowledge may have been inspired by something beyond the ordinary, an influence whispered in myths, legends, and symbolic records. Whether the source was purely human or guided by forces unknown, the effect is the same. These structures connect us with a sense of wonder, inviting reflection, calm, and quiet curiosity. As your breathing slows and your body relaxes deeper into comfort, picture walking gently among these monuments. Feel the textured stones beneath your fingertips, the sand soft beneath your feet, the wind brushing past in a quiet, serene rhythm. Imagine tracing the alignments yourself, noticing how the shadows fall and the stars shine in perfect harmony with the constructions below. Let yourself drift in this calm exploration, considering that each structure is both a physical achievement and a subtle message, a whisper from the past that something greater may have shaped the course of human history. You do not need to find the answers tonight. The mystery itself, the quiet contemplation of possibility, is enough to guide your mind into serenity. This section encourages gentle curiosity, blending historical facts, architectural marvels, and celestial connections while maintaining a slow, immersive rhythm that is ideal for bedtime listening. The monuments serve as both grounding points and gateways into larger mysteries, preparing the listener to transition naturally into the next part of the journey, where stories, myths, and eyewitness accounts begin to intertwine with these enduring enigmas. As night deepens, imagine yourself in an ancient village, the soft glow of firelight flickering across simple stone walls. The villagers pause in their evening tasks, tilting their heads toward the sky, watching for signs that may come from above. For thousands of years, humans have recorded strange lights, fiery objects, and unexplained movements in the heavens, blending observation with myth and wonder. In the ancient Sumerian city-states of Mesopotamia, scribes documented celestial events with astonishing care. Their tablets speak of bright chariots traversing the sky and mysterious figures descending from the stars. While some modern scholars interpret these as allegorical, representing gods or spiritual messages, others note the specificity of the accounts, details that suggest genuine experiences, moments in which the unknown intersected with human perception. Picture the quiet awe these early witnesses might have felt, the same awe that now washes over you as you imagine the scene in your mind. In ancient Egypt, the skies were not only a map but a realm of divine interaction. Pharaohs were believed to communicate with the gods through celestial phenomena, and priests meticulously recorded unusual lights, comets, and solar anomalies. Some inscriptions describe fiery discs moving swiftly across the sky, leaving observers in awe or fear. Historians note that Egyptians interpreted such events symbolically, yet the detail of these accounts, sometimes paired with changes on Earth, like floods or unusual weather, suggests that their observations were rooted in real, tangible experiences. Imagine standing beside the Nile under a starry sky, feeling the gentle flow of the river and sensing the excitement and reverence of those ancient people as they witnessed something extraordinary. Across the world, the Vedic texts of ancient India recount celestial beings descending from the heavens in magnificent flying chariots, known as vimanas. These descriptions include intricate details, the shape of the craft, its movement, even the sounds it produced. While scholars often interpret these as mythological narratives or poetic metaphor, the consistency and specificity of multiple accounts across centuries raise intriguing questions. Imagine the soft murmur of a distant crowd, gazing upward at a phenomenon so unusual that it challenges the boundaries of their understanding, a moment suspended between the known and the unknown, between myth and possible reality. Medieval Europe also offers fascinating examples. Monks, chronicling events in illuminated manuscripts, sometimes described fiery wheels in the sky, glowing orbs hovering over towns, or strange, luminous figures that defied explanation. One account from the 12th century describes a bright disk hovering over a castle, observed by multiple villagers, noted with both fear and reverence. These records, often written with careful attention to detail, show that humans have long been attentive witnesses of events they could not fully interpret, blending observation, cultural meaning, and imagination. The combination of awe, fear, and fascination mirrors the psychological experiences of people encountering phenomena that challenge their worldview, something that continues to occur even today. Consider the collective psychology at play in these early sightings. Humans have a natural inclination to seek meaning in unusual events, to interpret the unknown in ways that fit their cultural understanding. What might appear to us as a simple light in the sky could have been perceived as a message from the gods, a warning, or even an invitation. Historians and psychologists suggest that these interpretations are neither foolish nor purely imaginative. They reflect a deep human drive to understand, to connect, and to integrate extraordinary experiences into the fabric of life. Tonight, as you imagine these ancient observers, notice how calm curiosity accompanies their wonder, how the night sky becomes both a canvas and a mirror for human thought, bridging the gap between the familiar and the mysterious. Even in cultures separated by oceans and continents, similar motifs emerge. Across the Americas, indigenous peoples describe luminous figures moving across the sky, sometimes landing or leaving impressions on the land. The consistency of such accounts, whether from the Aztecs, the Maya, or North American tribes, suggests that humans everywhere have experienced phenomena that resist easy explanation. Imagine the soft rustle of leaves in a jungle, the hush of a gathering watching a strange light trace patterns in the sky, and the calm yet profound curiosity that must have enveloped those witnessing it. These moments, quietly observed and carefully remembered, became part of oral traditions, shaping myths, rituals, and cultural identity, while leaving a subtle but enduring impression on history itself. Tonight, as you breathe slowly and evenly, let your imagination drift through these scenes across time and space. Picture the Sumerians, Egyptians, Vedic scholars, medieval villagers, and indigenous tribes all looking upward, experiencing awe, wonder, and the subtle thrill of the unknown. Their curiosity mirrors your own, gently encouraging your mind to explore while remaining calm, reflective, and serene. These early sightings remind us that the universe has always been a source of mystery, a canvas for imagination, and a guide for contemplation. By observing their experiences, we not only honor human curiosity but also prepare ourselves to explore the threads that connect history, culture, and the possibility of something beyond our ordinary understanding. Beyond the careful documentation of historians, archaeologists, and government observers, there exists another layer of interpretation, one that stretches imagination toward the cosmos and considers possibilities that conventional science does not fully address. The Nazca Lines, in their vastness and precision, have long invited speculation about a connection between human civilization and forces beyond our ordinary experience. Some researchers propose that these geoglyphs were designed not only for human eyes but for beings in the sky, perhaps messages or signals meant to be seen from above. This idea, while controversial, persists because the figures are almost impossibly large, stretching hundreds of meters across the desert floor, and their full forms are comprehensible only from an elevated perspective, something the Nazca themselves could not naturally achieve. The concept of ancient astronauts has fascinated some scholars and enthusiasts, suggesting that extraterrestrial visitors may have influenced or inspired the creation of the lines. Proponents point to the precise geometry, alignment with certain stars, and apparent knowledge of celestial patterns as hints that the Nazca could have received guidance from intelligent beings from elsewhere. While mainstream archaeology emphasizes human ingenuity and ritualistic purpose, the suggestion of star visitors opens a space for imaginative reflection, allowing listeners to consider that the desert may have once been a point of contact between Earth and the unknown. The mind is gently invited to picture silent lights hovering over the lines, observers from the sky tracing the contours of hummingbirds, monkeys, and trapezoids in quiet fascination. Other theories approach the lines through energy, symbolism, or cosmic alignment. Some researchers argue that the geoglyphs were designed to channel spiritual or cosmic energy, serving as conduits between the earth and heavens. Certain shapes correspond loosely with solstices, planetary positions, or star clusters, suggesting that the Nazca were not only careful observers of the night sky but also attuned to unseen forces that influence their daily and ritual life. Historians note that many ancient cultures, from Egypt to Mesoamerica, similarly encoded cosmological knowledge into monumental works, creating sacred spaces where human, terrestrial, and celestial dimensions intersect. The Nazca Lines, in this sense, become a meditation on scale and connection, a bridge between earthly survival and cosmic consciousness. Psychologists studying the phenomenon suggest that the persistence of these alternative interpretations reflects a fundamental human desire to reach beyond the immediate and the known. In isolated, awe-inspiring landscapes like the Nazca Desert, the mind naturally searches for meaning, pattern, and connection. When combined with the mystery of lights in the sky or unexplained sightings reported by pilots and locals, these interpretations gain additional resonance. While caution is warranted, the narrative of potential visitors from the stars remains compelling, providing a quiet thrill without urgency or alarm. It is a narrative that invites reflection, curiosity, and imagination in a space of calm wonder, ideal for bedtime contemplation. Some researchers even suggest that the lines might have served multiple purposes simultaneously: practical, ceremonial, astronomical, and perhaps even as communication with beings beyond our comprehension. This multi-layered approach respects the Nazca's ingenuity while allowing for the enduring mystery that has captured the human imagination for decades. Scholars emphasize that the line's survival over centuries, despite harsh conditions, indicates careful design, intentionality, and perhaps a deeper understanding of environmental and spiritual principles. Whether or not extraterrestrial influence played a role, the desert itself seems to hold its secrets, allowing these possibilities to coexist alongside documented history. The appeal of these alternative theories is not merely in speculation but in the gentle interplay between what is known and what is possible. As listeners imagine standing on the desert floor at night, looking up at the infinite stars, the mind can wander between grounded history and cosmic curiosity. The figures etched in the sand become portals to reflection, encouraging the imagination to drift across time, civilizations, and perhaps even across the vast reaches of space. Each shape, each line, is a quiet invitation to wonder, to consider connections that may transcend human understanding, and to embrace the slow unfolding of mystery. In this calm narrative space, The Nazca lines are transformed into something more than historical artifacts. They are monuments of human ingenuity, expressions of spiritual consciousness, and perhaps silent witnesses to the unknown. The desert at night, the stars above, and the possibility of visitors from afar coalesce into a meditative experience, allowing the listener to float between grounded reality and imaginative exploration. Here, mystery is not frightening but soothing, curiosity becomes a gentle companion, and the mind is free to drift over the ancient desert, tracing lines of connection between the earth and the stars, between history and possibility, between human experience and the ineffable unknown. The Nazca lines have always existed not just as archaeological wonders, but as living threads in the tapestry of human culture. Long before airplanes revealed their full forms, local communities held knowledge of the desert's peculiar marks, weaving them into stories, rituals, and oral histories. These lines were not merely the work of distant ancestors. They became part of a cultural rhythm, a backdrop for seasonal ceremonies, pilgrimages, and meditative reflection. Indigenous beliefs often attribute spiritual significance to the geoglyphs, seeing them as channels connecting the earth to the heavens, traces of sacred journeys, or pathways for the gods. The desert, vast and silent, becomes a sacred space where the presence of the past can be felt in every gust of wind and the shifting patterns of sand. As the modern world became aware of the lines, their influence expanded globally, inspiring scholars, artists, and dreamers alike. Writers and filmmakers have often drawn upon the Nazca lines as symbols of mystery, human ingenuity, and cosmic connection. In literature, they appear as metaphors for the unknown, as silent messages left by civilizations that challenge our understanding of history. In visual arts, the lines inspire patterns, textures, and monumental compositions, inviting audiences to consider the interplay between human creativity and the vastness of nature. This cultural resonance transforms the desert into a canvas for imagination, allowing listeners to drift gently into the wonder of human expression across time and space. The mystical interpretations of the lines have also enriched cultural imagination. Many see the geoglyphs as sacred markers, guiding spiritual journeys or serving as meditative tools. Shamans, travelers, and seekers have walked among them, attuning themselves to the rhythms of the desert, the wind, and the stars. Some believe that the shapes, birds, monkeys, and geometric forms carry symbolic meanings, representing cosmic forces, celestial beings, or archetypal energies. Psychologists studying these traditions note that such beliefs provide a gentle framework for contemplation, offering a sense of connection, purpose, and serenity. In this way, the Nazca lines are not only historical artifacts but catalysts for spiritual reflection, merging the physical and the metaphysical in a subtle, calming manner. Tourism, too, has brought a modern cultural dimension to the Nazca lines. Visitors from around the world arrive quietly in small planes or carefully guided tours, gazing down upon shapes that have survived for centuries. For many, the experience is meditative, a slow drifting over the desert, noticing the interplay of shadow, line, and perspective, feeling the quiet hum of history beneath their feet. The act of observing from above mirrors the ancient intention of the creators, whether practical, spiritual, or otherwise, and invites reflection on human ingenuity, perseverance, and imagination. The desert, in its stillness, seems to hold each visitor's thoughts, allowing the mind to wander freely between past and present, earth and sky. Even in contemporary culture, the lines inspire metaphors and artistic exploration beyond Peru. Designers incorporate the shapes into textiles, installations, and public art. Writers use them to explore themes of communication, the unknown, and the limits of human perception. Filmmakers often reference the lines as symbols of connection between humanity and the cosmos, suggesting that these vast designs are bridges across time, culture, and even imagination. Historians and anthropologists note that this enduring inspiration reflects a universal fascination with mystery and the unknown, a fascination that transcends borders and generations, quietly shaping human creativity in a gentle, reflective way. The Nazca lines also encourage a unique form of psychological engagement. Observing them, whether on foot or from above, invites calm, slow contemplation. Each figure, each line, becomes a visual mantra, encouraging the mind to linger, to notice subtle patterns, to trace connections between the shapes and the stars overhead. The desert becomes a meditative environment, a sanctuary where the mind can drift between concrete knowledge and imaginative reflection. This sense of timelessness, of human endeavor intertwined with mystery, gently guides listeners toward relaxation, curiosity, and a profound sense of wonder. In this way, the cultural impact of the Nazca lines is both broad and deeply personal. They are at once historical, spiritual, artistic, and psychological, a convergence of human creativity and natural beauty. As the stars wheel slowly overhead and the desert hums with quiet energy, the listener is invited to drift in thought, tracing lines across the sand and across time, contemplating the ingenuity, belief, and imagination of a people long gone but never forgotten. The Nazca Desert, silent yet alive, offers a space where history, culture, and reflection merge, creating a gentle rhythm that carries the mind onward into the mysteries yet to unfold. In recent decades, the study of the Nazca lines has entered a new era, one shaped by technology, innovation, and careful observation. No longer confined to the ground, researchers now survey the desert from the air and even from space, capturing perspectives that the Nazca themselves could not have imagined. Drones glide silently above the desert, tracing the contours of geoglyphs, while satellites record high-resolution images that reveal previously unnoticed patterns. LiDAR technology, which can penetrate subtle surface changes, has uncovered hidden shapes and lines buried beneath centuries of wind-blown sand. Each new image, each new dataset adds layers of understanding, confirming that these formations were created with deliberate precision and extraordinary foresight. Yet even as science illuminates the lines, the desert retains its aura of mystery, quietly inviting contemplation. Technological investigations have revealed fascinating details about the construction methods. Researchers have noted consistent use of stakes and ropes to guide long lines, and subtle variations in depth and width suggest careful planning over many generations. Some trapezoidal formations align with astronomical phenomena, hinting at a sophisticated understanding of the night sky and the cycles of the sun and moon. Archaeologists emphasize that these findings highlight the ingenuity and patience of the Nazca people, demonstrating that complex knowledge does not require modern machinery but careful observation, communal effort, and meticulous design. As drones hover silently above the desert, they capture not only the lines themselves but also the sense of rhythm, scale, and intention embedded in the earth. Modern research has also shed light on the preservation and vulnerability of the geoglyphs. Scientists have studied the effects of wind, erosion, and human interference, recognizing that even minor disturbances can alter the delicate balance that has allowed the lines to survive for centuries. Conservation efforts now combine aerial surveys with minimal contact fieldwork, ensuring that study and protection go hand in hand. This careful approach mirrors the ancient respect for the land, a reminder that the desert is not merely a passive stage for human observation, but an active, living landscape that responds to attention and care. Observers today can move through the area with a sense of quiet reverence, tracing lines in thought and imagination while leaving the physical forms undisturbed. The insights gained from modern technology also deepen the dialogue between science and mystery. High-resolution imagery has revealed previously unnoticed shapes, small geometric forms, and subtle deviations in pattern that suggest more than one layer of planning. Some figures appear to overlap earlier designs, hinting at an evolving vision across generations. Researchers debate whether these additional lines served ceremonial, practical, or symbolic purposes, but the evidence consistently points to intention, skill, and awareness of spatial relationships on an extraordinary scale. For listeners, This becomes an invitation to drift above the desert, tracing patterns with the mind's eye, appreciating both the technical mastery and the quiet enigma that persists despite centuries of scrutiny. Technological tools have also allowed comparisons across cultures, revealing intriguing parallels. Similar geoglyphs and monumental designs exist in other ancient civilizations, suggesting that humans across time and space have sought to create visual expressions that link earth and sky. Scholars note that while the Nazca lines are unique in scale and preservation, they belong to a broader human tradition of monumental art and sacred geometry, a tradition that blends observation, ritual, and imagination. The desert thus becomes a mirror for reflection, encouraging listeners to consider both the particular achievements of the Nazca and the universal impulse to connect with something greater than oneself. Even with all these advances, the desert continues to hold secrets. Observers report subtle anomalies in perspective, faint traces of lines that resist easy categorization, and natural features that interact with the geoglyphs in unexpected ways. The combination of high technology and careful study allows a deeper understanding while leaving space for wonder, for contemplation of the unknown, and for the gentle thrill of mystery. The mind can drift freely, hovering above trapezoids, hummingbirds, and spirals, feeling the rhythm of human ingenuity and the quiet pulse of the desert itself. In this space, science and imagination coexist, creating a soothing, meditative experience that is both intellectually engaging and calming. As night falls across the desert, the insights of modern research are framed not as definitive answers but as invitations to reflection. Each discovery enhances appreciation of the Nazca people's skill and creativity, while each remaining question deepens the sense of quiet awe. Drones, satellites, and digital maps become instruments not only of measurement but of imagination, allowing the mind to float above the desert, to trace lines across centuries, and to consider the connection between human endeavor and the vast cosmos overhead. In this gentle rhythm of observation and contemplation, the Nazca lines continue to guide the mind across history, culture, and possibility, preparing listeners for the reflective journey that follows as the story moves toward nightfall and meditation among the stars. As the night deepens over the Nazca Desert, a profound stillness settles across the sands. The last glow of twilight fades, leaving only the soft shimmer of countless stars stretched across the sky. In this quiet, the desert seems almost to breathe, each grain of sand holding memories of the centuries, and each line carved into the earth serving as a silent witness to the lives that once moved across this arid landscape. The geoglyphs, immense and intricate, lie beneath the darkening heavens, their shapes visible only from above, yet palpable in imagination. As listeners picture themselves here, the mind begins to relax, drifting gently along the paths and figures etched by human hands so long ago. In this hushed environment, reflection becomes natural. One can imagine walking along the lines, tracing the curves of a hummingbird, following the spiral of a monkey's tail, or observing the precision of a geometric trapezoid. Each figure carries layers of meaning, practical, spiritual, artistic, and perhaps cosmic. Thoughts of the Nazca people arise, not as distant, abstract figures, but as real individuals whose lives were shaped by the rhythms of the sun, the scarcity of water, and the cycles of crops. They moved with patience, care, and intention, leaving marks that have endured far longer than their own lifetimes. The desert becomes a bridge across time, allowing the listener to feel a connection to this ancient civilization, quiet and contemplative, as if sharing in a moment suspended between past and present. The night sky above adds another layer to reflection. Stars will slowly, distant and luminous, echoing the shapes below in the land. Certain lines and trapezoids seem to align with celestial events, the solstice, equinox, or the rising of particular constellations. Astronomers and historians have debated these alignments for decades, and while some explanations remain speculative, they invite contemplation of humanity's enduring fascination with the heavens. The Nazca, aware of the patterns above, embedded their reverence in the desert floor, creating a space where earth and sky, human and cosmic, intertwine. As listeners imagine this, a sense of calm curiosity arises, a gentle wonder at how human intention can echo across centuries, still harmonizing with the universe. The quiet of the desert at night also brings attention to subtle mysteries that linger. Reports of lights in the sky, stories passed down through generations, and modern eyewitness accounts mingle with the imagination. Pilots have described spheres of illumination moving silently over the geoglyphs, hovering and disappearing as if observing the lines themselves. Locals speak of faint, fleeting glimmers at twilight or early dawn, moments that leave a lingering impression of connection with something beyond ordinary perception. These accounts, whether interpreted literally or metaphorically, add a layer of intrigue to the reflective experience, encouraging the mind to explore possibilities without urgency or alarm. The desert holds its secrets with gentle patience, allowing curiosity and wonder to coexist with relaxation. Meditation naturally follows in this serene environment. Listeners can picture themselves lying on the cool sand, gazing upward as stars twinkle with quiet constancy. The wind whispers softly through the desert, carrying the scent of earth and the faint memory of ancient footsteps. Thoughts of the Nazca, of their ingenuity, rituals, and vision, drift in and out, interwoven with reflections on human creativity, patience, and the desire to connect with something greater. Each line becomes a guide for contemplation, each figure a point of focus for calm attention. The desert, immense and still, encourages a gentle rhythm of breathing, thought, and observation, fostering a deep sense of presence and relaxation. This reflective night also invites philosophical musings, gentle and meditative. Listeners may ponder the timeless questions that arise when humans look to the heavens: the nature of connection, the persistence of culture, and the allure of mystery that cannot be fully explained. The Nazca lines, preserved across centuries, remind us that some achievements endure not only because of utility but because of intention, artistry, and imagination. In the quiet of the desert night, it becomes possible to sense the intersection of human effort, cosmic wonder, and the ongoing flow of time. This reflection is neither hurried nor tense. It is a slow, deliberate immersion into history, landscape, and possibility. As the mind drifts further, the desert and the stars merge into a seamless landscape of thought and imagination. One can envision floating above the lines, tracing their paths from the perspective of an observer in the sky, feeling the gentle pull of both history and mystery. The geoglyphs, illuminated only by starlight in the mind's eye, seem alive with quiet intention, guiding reflection and curiosity in tandem. It is a space where contemplation becomes soothing, where wonder coexists with calm, and where the listener is gently prepared for the journey toward rest. The Nazca Desert, vast and eternal, offers a sanctuary of thought, an invitation to linger in the rhythm of earth, stars, and imagination before the mind finally drifts into sleep. As the desert night stretches on, a gentle stillness envelopes everything. The Nazca lines lie quiet beneath the stars, immense and enduring, silent witnesses to centuries of human life, ingenuity, and imagination. The wind whispers softly across the sand, carrying faint echoes of those who once moved with careful intention, carving shapes and patterns into the earth that would endure far beyond their own lifetimes. In this expansive calm, the mind can drift freely, tracing the contours of geoglyphs, imagining the patience, skill, and reverence that guided each line, each figure, each careful spiral. Time seems to slow, the present merging gently with the past, as the desert and sky form a seamless landscape for quiet reflection. The mind may wander to the stories of those who have observed the desert in other times, both near and far. Pilots recounting silent, moving lights overhead, locals telling of glowing orbs that seem to dance along the horizon, researchers documenting patterns and anomalies. All of these voices blend into a tapestry of memory and possibility. While science provides measured explanations, history offers context, and archaeology illuminates the incredible skill of the Nazca people. The night itself preserves a space for wonder. In this space, imagination is neither frivolous nor distracting. It is a gentle companion, a lens through which the enormity of human achievement and the quiet mystery of the desert can be appreciated simultaneously. One may envision drifting slowly above the lines, moving over hummingbirds, monkeys, and geometric formations that stretch endlessly across the earth. Each shape carries stories of agricultural ingenuity, spiritual practice, artistic expression, and perhaps subtle messages for eyes unseen. The desert becomes a canvas not only of human creativity but also of reflection, where every line and pattern encourages a slow, meditative rhythm. Thoughts can wander to the stars overhead, where constellations spin slowly in silent arcs, echoing the shapes below. This alignment of Earth and cosmos fosters a deep sense of connection, allowing the mind to settle into a gentle, contemplative state, aware of vastness yet comforted by the rhythm of creation and observation. There is a delicate interplay between the known and the unknown in this reflection. Scholars provide insight, historical records offer grounding, and eyewitness accounts introduce mystery, yet the desert itself remains patient, holding its secrets with quiet dignity. In this space, curiosity does not strain the mind. Instead, it invites gentle exploration. Listeners can feel themselves moving slowly through time, observing the creativity, intention, and reverence that shaped these monumental designs. The desert encourages a rhythm of breathing, thought, and wonder, each inhalation drawing in the vastness, each exhalation releasing tension, allowing the mind to relax further into the quiet majesty of history and mystery combined. Modern technology, too, has added another layer to this understanding. Satellite imagery, drone photography, and high-resolution mapping allow viewers to see details invisible from the ground, revealing overlapping lines, subtle curves, and hidden figures. Even as these tools illuminate the desert, they do not diminish its quiet magic. Rather, they deepen appreciation, showing the incredible foresight and precision of the Nazca while still leaving space for imagination to wander among the stars and shadows. The balance between meticulous study and gentle wonder becomes a rhythm of thought, a meditation in motion, perfectly suited for the mind preparing to drift into sleep. As the night wears on, it becomes easy to surrender to this gentle rhythm. The geoglyphs, the desert, the starlit sky, and the faint whispers of ancient lives converge into a serene, meditative panorama. One can imagine floating above the desert, drifting over trapezoids and spirals, hummingbirds and monkeys, the mind aware of both human effort and cosmic possibility. The stories of ancient hands, modern observers, and quiet mysteries combine, creating a lullaby of history and imagination. This moment is not hurried. It is expansive, soothing, and reflective, allowing listeners to embrace both the wonder of the unknown and the grounding presence of human creativity. Finally, the Nazca Desert becomes a sanctuary for the mind. Thoughts slow, attention softens, and curiosity blends seamlessly with calm. The figures etched in the sand are no longer distant. They are companions on a slow journey through time, culture, and imagination. The night sky watches silently above, the wind carries the soft voice of the past, and the lines below whisper stories of patience, devotion, and wonder. In this serene space, the listener is invited to drift fully into rest, carrying the calm majesty of the desert, the quiet intrigue of the geoglyphs, and the gentle pull of mystery into a slow, restorative sleep. Here, in the interplay of history, observation, and imagination, the Nazca lines guide the mind to tranquility, ensuring that the wonder of this ancient desert endures in thought, dream, and memory.